Welcome along to episode number 3 of the Dirt Trackers Rugby podcast. This week we're going to be talking to Rory Cian over in New Zealand and getting his insight on the Heineken Cup games that are coming up this weekend. We've got Leinster away at Glasgow, Munster at home to Cast, Toulouse facing Connacht and Ulster playing at Ravenhill against Leicester. We've also got exclusive interviews with Leinster's Jonathan Sexton, Cian Healy and skills and kicking coach Richie Murphy. First off, though, we're going to go to Rory Cian down in Auckland and see what his take is on this weekend's action. Rory, what is it? How's it going, Rory? Rory's with APN New Zealand, and he's based in Auckland as a freelancer as well, doing a bit of work for MSN too. How are you getting on, Rory?
Hi, Pat. Flying now, man.
So listen, we're going to have a look at the Heineken Cup and have a look at the four provinces and just have a little bit of a chat and a bit of a preview and kind of see who's got the best chance of winning this weekend and if there's any upsets on the card. So I suppose what we'll first do is look at Leinster. They're away to Glasgow, and how much of a chance do you think these guys have of getting their ninth win in a row?
Well, it's kind of looking at it completely objectively down here in the Southern Hemisphere. They've kicked on, probably even gone up a level from last year, even without BOD himself missing. They're just playing a brand of rugby now that looks beyond any other province or team in Ireland at the moment, or even I think only Toulouse really or Claremont and they're there really playing any kind of rugby that can match Leinster at the moment. Glasgow are they're doing well in the Rabo Direct League, but you'd have to be looking at Leinster to be disappointed really not to be getting the 5 points in the bag there now. I expect Schmidt, is he probably going to do his kind of Alex Ferguson away day in the Champions League selections, picking Van der Merwe, Isaac Boss, but to be honest, I can't look beyond Leinster really, and they'll be gunning for it. I mean, they're looking good. Luke Fitzgerald's going back into a good vein of form. Sexton's got his kind of post World Cup hangover over him. O'Malley is just looking better every time he goes out on the field. Carney looks rejuvenated. They've got unbelievable depth in their front row. They even had this guy, I think, Pat, was it Mark Flanagan, came on last week?
Yeah, Flanagan came on and did very well, yeah.
And had a mighty game. And, they have, Sykes and Bergquist to come back. And it's even funny in a way, Bergquist's injury, because, he's highly rated down here in New Zealand. Dan Carter's understudy at the Crusaders, but it opened the door for Ian Madigan, and he's been an absolute revelation for Leinster. He's scoring twice for fun there and attacking the gain line, and now they're talking about him maybe getting a cap for the Wolfhounds or even beyond,
Well, that's the thing, yeah. Their kicking stats, I think, for a team are over 85%, and they're just saying someone like Madigan, who's a good kicker as well, can't even get a look in because you have Nasewa, you have Sexton, and then McFadden, who you mentioned to me during the World Cup when we were down there. He's a good kicker, and he's proven it.
Yeah, that's it. I think it's just, even with Schmidt, it's philosophy there. I think the players, no disrespect to Ireland, but I think a lot of the players, you can just tell. I just get the feeling they just love playing for Leinster. The whole setup and the patterns and the philosophy they have there, their offloading game, and it's all about speed. It's all about, you watch other teams, like I think Munster have come on a bit this year, but it just gets frustrating sometimes when you see these, they call them racks down here. You just have a breakdown, a bit of quick ball, and then you just see four forwards just lighting up, taking the ball and just trundling on. Whereas with Leinster, it's all about just clean out the ruck, next phase, move it quickly, and it's all about getting guys like Heath who seems to be bang on form again now, Sean O'Brien, getting these guys on the ball, getting them over the gain line, and they're a great team to watch. Even down here, watching them afar, they're just you look forward to watching them, even when you're watching them, even highlights if you can't get a live game down here. They're looking very good at the moment. I really can't see them, bearing, massive down from a former huge string of injuries. I can't see them, I can't see anyone derailing them at the moment. Anyway, we'll have to wait and see the latter stages of the tournament when they come against some of the bigger heavyweights, but I can't see anyone, I can't see Glasgow troubling them at all this weekend, really. Even at Fairhill in that kind of rickety old stadium, I can't see them causing them any problems.
And you have then, of course, Glasgow, they were getting stripped of another player then, Richie Gray, there during the summer, and it's just they need to bring the young players up, but nobody, even if they bring the young players up, they don't seem to be lasting too long once they show a bit of, a few signs of promise.
Yeah, it's very hard for them, even that, they're, infamous back row, and was it like Richie Vernon went to Sale as well, and they lost Kelly Brown to Saracens, they lost Max Evans to Cast, they lost Dan Parks to Cardiff, they had a real kind of good team there, and I think it sums up Glasgow, was that their their marquee signing last summer was Troy Nathan from Connacht. No disrespect to Troy Nathan now, but they just don't. As you said, like every time they're a bit like Ajax. Did great teams of old. Every time they seem to produce this clutch of really good talented players, and then you just get cherry picked by the English clubs and some of the French clubs as well. And obviously they had Tom Evans. I was a huge fan of him, and he obviously had a career-ending injury 2 years ago. Had a terrible neck injury against Wales. So they've just had an awful run of luck, and I think this is the case with a side like them, as with Edinburgh. Gate receipts and things like that, sponsorship. Rugby isn't a very lucrative business up in Scotland, so they're always going to struggle. They're always going to be punching above their weight. So that's the way it goes, really.
We're targeting a home quarter final. It's the main goal. Obviously, to get out of our pool would be great. So if we need to do that, we need to win this weekend. We know it's going to be tough because I don't think Glasgow have lost there since September. They've got a lot of really good players in their squad. So we'll be up against it right from home this weekend. Yeah, obviously, they get a win. They're right behind us again, and what we'll always play for the last week. We want to be in control of this pool, and to do that, we need to win this weekend. We had some two good performances at home where we got the bonus point, and we played some pretty good stuff. And then we had the away Bath game where we're going to have to take a lot of lessons from that for this weekend. Not taking our chances, being a bit sloppy. Maybe it's the early kick-off, which is again on this weekend. So we'll have to take a few lessons from that game. Yeah, it's not so much kicking, but in terms of the types of plays we're going to have to play. It's a tight pitch. It's the wind can get in over the top of one end, which is normally the case. So it might be tricky from that point of view, but just get out early, delay the game, and take a few kicks and get used to the pitch. I've played there a few times, so hopefully that won't be a problem. I'm not sure too many teams with good records over there. It's a tough place to go. Like I said, they're a really good side, and it's a small little pitch, and it's not in great condition some of the time when the weather gets bad. So I'll have to see how it is over there and what type of game we play. But it's a tough place to go. They've got a lot of Scottish internationals, a lot of young players that are really coming along. They seem to be really well coached. We know the type of team they are. They beat us at home at the start of the year. So we'll keep that in our minds going over here, that they can turn over people. They did it to Wasps last year. They knocked Wasps out. I think they've beaten a lot of the big French sides over here as well in the past. So it's going to be a tough game. Yeah, even though we've been getting results, we've still been reviewing the games in detail, and a lot of aspects of our game still need a lot of improvement. And Joe highlights that every Monday morning, even if we get the win. So it's we don't feel we're playing to our potential, but we're getting the right results, which is a good thing. They'll have a few different personnel definitely, and it'll only strengthen them, I think. So we'll have to have a look at the individuals that we're missing from the game in the RDS, and just concentrate on how we can stop their threats. Beatty is one of their big ball carriers in the back row that has done damage to us in the past. They'll have to keep an eye out for, and like I said, they're a good side, and they're even better when they play in Firhill.
Yeah, a huge game for us. We're in a position that if we can get a win at the weekend, we'll qualify for the quarter-finals, and that's very much been our goal. Yeah, I think it's been fantastic for us. Our squad is nice and strong, and even if we have to leave one or two players out, other guys that are coming in are stepping in and filling their boots really, really well. So it's been definitely a great thing for us to have this year. Yeah, Glasgow have gone very well this year. Big improvement from where they were last year. They're a difficult side to play in Firhill. They've won their last 6 games over there, unbeaten since after the World Cup at home. So it'll be very difficult. They compete very hard at the breakdown. They seem to have a very good team spirit and work very hard for each other. So we're under no illusion it's going to be a very difficult game at the weekend. We're in a great position at the moment where our first 3 choice kickers are kicking over 80%. Our team stat is actually at 85 for the season, with 5 different kickers involved in that. So Cian hasn't really got an opportunity yet, but he's working very hard at it, and massive improvements in that area in the last 12 months. So it's not a case that he can't kick, it's just a case that the guys in front of him aren't doing anything wrong. Yeah, well, we've been there a few times. I've been there a few times now, and we kind of know that it's quite a small pitch, and the stands stand quite tight to the sideline, so it is something that we have to be aware of. even for line kicking situations. But you know, luckily enough, like Jonny's played there, Isa's played there. They've all been there, so they know what to expect. And you know, normally we'd have the captain's run over there on the Saturday, which lads will be able to kick and get ready for the game. Yeah, it's funny, you know, like obviously we're on quite a good run at the moment, but we still feel like we've a lot to learn and a lot to achieve this year. We don't feel like we're playing flawless rugby. You know, every Monday morning video session, there's always loads and loads of stuff to work on. The guys have been battled through a few wins in recent weeks, and so you know, I don't think there's a cockiness around the squad. I don't think there's a focus on what we've done. I think every time we come back in on a Monday morning, we're looking forward to the game at the weekend.
Yeah, it will be a huge game. You know, they have a good record at home, so it'll be a big task for us to go over there and beat them. Yeah, you know, there's pressure coming from everywhere from the players. Like people want their position and want to get games, so it's good. It's healthy to have that in the squad and really push each other on. Yeah, it's all right. I've been pretty happy with performances when I come on and stuff like that, and if I've started gotten decent runs at it. But you know, a couple of 80-minute shifts under the belt in the next few weeks, hopefully, and that could do me nice going into the end of the season. It's not a very nice place to go to, and kind of their record there that season's kind of shown that as well. Like they're unbeaten since September or something like that over there, I think, if that's right. And you know, it's kind of, we're going to have to focus on ourselves. You know, if we focus on the stadium or the team that we're playing against, we kind of get caught up in that. So if we focus on what we have to do and what we're bringing to the game, we should be all right. Yeah, well, look, it's Heineken Cup. You know, you can't really put it down at all. It's all the rugby is tough rugby, and it's hard, and it's kind of going to the very end pretty much in most of the games. So we'd expect a tough game, and we're ready for a tough game. So.